What's up guys, Medieval Marty here, spending money on early access games so you don't have to. And today, we're talking about Rustler, stealing horses, fleeing police, doing drive-bys with a crossbow and brawling with knights. It's basically Grand Theft Auto but medieval. And today I want to talk about my first impressions of Rustler in early access. Whether there are any problems with it, whether I'd recommend it, or whether it needs more time in the oven. And hopefully this helps inform your decisions on whether you buy the game or you wait for it to come out, or whether it's just a complete dumpster fire. So Rustler is an early access medieval take on the old school Grand Theft Auto games. And when I say old school, I mean like GTA 1 or 2, where it was a top down, didn't take itself too seriously, and it wasn't riddled by shark cards and hackers. It was just a top down, chaotic, arcadey fun game. So Rustler was created by Jutsu Games, who are most known for the 911 operator game, like the emergency response simulation game. And it's in early access on Steam. Came out last month, I think, in February. And it took me a while to cover this. I'll tell you why soon. As always, I'm going to cover what you get up to in the game, what there is to do, and give you my overall opinion on where the game currently is in its current state. As always, with early access games, every day forward from today, this game will be improving. I could cover major flaws or problems or bugs in the game that are gone by the time you pick it up. By release, they could all be gone. It could be in a completely different state. So just bear in mind, this is not a critical review of the game. It's just how I feel in its current state. And take it with a pinch of salt. So when I say the game is like the old school Grand Theft Auto, I mean the systems are exactly the same. It could just be an overhaul mod for GTA 2 because there are so many similar systems, which isn't a bad thing because those games are super fun. But be aware this isn't a super realistic, immersive game. Armor, weapons, and food float on the ground like pickups, like in an arcade game. It really does take you back to this old style of gameplay, and it lets you relive the fun of these fun arcadey games, and it does have the humor to back it up. So I'm going to go through like the quests first. So you take quests for your boss and other notable people around the town, and then you earn gold. Doing the side quest progresses the main story, gives you skill points to spend on upgrading your character, which I'll cover later. So the quests themselves are amazing. You're going to find yourself out killing knights, hunting peasants, doing crazy fun stuff, throwing poop at people, stealing horses and carts, and doing some really interesting and fun story chains. One of my favorites is a group of people that are down in like a castle, kind of like a fortress, and they're looking for the Holy Grail. If you've ever watched Monty Python, you will get all these references. It's obviously a slapstick spin on that, but they do a really good job of bringing that humor to the game and letting you play through it. Really fun. There is a huge issue with the quest, however, which I want to cover it at the start of the video, get it out of the way, because it's something that I want to bring to people's attention. I almost quit the game after 30 minutes and scrapped the review and asked for a refund because of it. So yeah, I just want to go over it. There are no checkpoints or save systems in this game until you finish a quest or you sleep at your house. So what that means is if you've got a big quest chain, let's say there's like a 20-minute quest that's at the other side of the map with a big battle at the end. You could travel all the way there, do 3 out of the 4 parts, go back for the final part, and then the game could bug out, which happened to me. You could die, or something could just happen and you could just fail the quest. Some of them are quite hard to understand, and you could just fail it. You have to start everything again. There's no save feature. You have to load your save, or you have to go back there and take the quest again. And like I say, the map's quite big, and you're not in cars, so it can take a long time. I don't know if this is a bug or if it was an intended feature in the game. I went straight to the reviews on Steam and I saw a lot of people mentioning it, so it's not just me bothering it. The game does have mostly positive, I think, or very positive, I can't remember. Overwhelmingly positive? It's very, very positive anyway. But a lot of people do mention this, so it's putting some people off, maybe not all. It really affected me. So yeah, I just want to put this out straight away and say, if that's something that bothers you, be warned, and watch to see if they fix it. If it doesn't bother you, great, enjoy the game. Overall, I've had a very good experience with the game, which I'll cover, but that one thing really did affect my experience. So I'm going to put that issue completely to the side and move on. Next, we're going to talk about the graphics and the sound and the look of the game, and it is stunning. You can see in the background, the graphics are amazing for a top-down GTA-like game. There's so many little details all over the world, from, people going about their daily lives, people fighting. There's like police that go around on basically police horses. There's cool buildings, big cities, fields, forests, places of interest, and the music's amazing. You can hire a bard to travel with you who plays a range of songs, acting like your radio. He'll get on the back of your horse and play songs for you, very much like The Witcher. You can hear your horses. This is a really cool detail I found. If you've got like a fast horse, you can hear it trot faster. If you've got like a war horse that's armored, you can hear the armor clank as you ride around the towns. I think they've done an incredible job here, and their attention to detail for an early access indie game is phenomenal. The artists, designers, and people that work on the sound need praising, because this really does feel like a medieval town, and I can't fault them here. If you appreciate the top-down style, this is done at its best, in my opinion. Next up, the gameplay. The gameplay itself has a ton of potential. I love the combat. You can parry, light and heavy attacks, dodge rolls, melee and ranged. There's multiple weapons from sticks and swords up to axes, lancers. There's quite a lot. For ranged, you only have the crossbow from what I've seen, or you can throw poop. But basically, it starts out really weak, and you won't want to use it because you get one good shot and then you have to stand and reload for what feels like a minute. It's not that long. And anyone with a sword will just rush you and kill you. If you upgrade your abilities with the ranged in the skill tree, so you have like a riding skill tree, a health and melee skill tree, and you have a ranged skill tree. And if you take the time to level this up, you can become an assassin with this crossbow. You can ride on the back of your horse, shooting people from the side like a drive-by. You can snipe knights from across the map as long as they don't block it with their shield. And you can reload pretty fast. You can reload on the back of your horse. It's really, really, really good. And I really think they did a good job here. It reminds me kind of how in like Kingdom Come Deliverance, if you take a certain path, you're incredibly bad at it and it feels weak. Even the combat feels weak. But then you put the time into upgrading and working through it, and you reap the rewards at the end. There's plenty of fighting with the citizens, the thugs, the peasants, the knights, from fistfights to brawls to full-on police chases. There's a full police system with like star levels, starting out with guards, escalating to crossbow guards. I've seen armored knights come after you. And yeah, the combat really does hold up. It really does put you in your place. And when you die, like I said, it's goodbye to everything. It really does punish you, which gives an element of danger and risk outside of the main quests. Outside of the combat, police, and the quests, there's fighting competitions, horse races, money-making events such as farming, collecting dead bodies for the gravekeeper, trying to collect cool weapons and armor, stealing horses, GTA style. But after like 4 hours, I had like 5,000 gold and never found anywhere to spend my money outside of the quests. I saw leather working shops, armor shops, butchers, loads of cool stores, but they're all just cosmetic buildings and I couldn't spend my money on anything. I'm not sure if that's just early access and they're still building shop systems into the game, or whether I just didn't get far enough into the game, because the bug I mentioned earlier has stopped me in my tracks. I'll explain later. But yeah, I didn't find much to spend my money on. Like I said, there's a full skill tree focused on different types of gameplay. The humor in the game is incredible. You have to go into this knowing it's slapstick, childish humor. It's adult humor because it's like adult jokes and stuff like that, but it is very childish. There's pop culture references. If you want a laugh, this game's for you. Don't take it seriously. The only character that was unlikable from my experience is the main character, Guy. He's basically just a thug, and he doesn't really have any morals or reasons for being a thug. But yeah, everyone else in the game's great. So, in summary, how is Rustler? What is Rustler like as a game? I'd normally recommend buying it, waiting for release, or leaving it alone. And with this one, I'm really conflicted. I absolutely love the style and the gameplay. I love the arcadey feel, the GTA style feel. The quests, what I've played so far, played about 5 hours, are amazing. I normally play the game for a few days, and I'm trying to put 10 hours minimum into a game before I review it. And so I've seen the majority of the content, got to, end game, if there is an end game. But here I could only play for 5 hours, and it was really because of this bug. There was one quest this non-save feature. There's one quest that I probably spent an hour and a half just doing again and again and again because I was bugging out at the last bit. If you play this game, there's a bit where you have to pretend to be a guard. You'll know it. It's a long quest, and the last bit bugged out for me every single time. And the guy got away, and I had to start all the way back at the beginning. Every time that happened, I raged and shut down the game and waited a few more days before playing it again. And it put me off so much that I could only stomach another few hours after that. So I have covered a lot of quests, but I haven't finished the game. If that feature is ever removed, this is a phenomenal game, and I would recommend it to everyone who likes this sort of game. With that feature in, I really struggle to enjoy the quests, the progression through the game. Maybe I'm just bad at the game, I don't know. I think the game needs a little bit more time to fix bugs and stuff like that, but the game itself is super polished. The gameplay is complete. It really is. They need to add more things to do around the town, in my opinion, because the outside of the city does feel a little bit empty. But if they take on the feedback and they improve what I consider to be problems, I think the game could be amazing. Like I said, on Steam, this has a really positive, overall really positive reviews. So it's not, a lot of people aren't bothered by what I'm bothered by. So I'm not going to suggest you don't play the game because of it. I just want to warn you that that is in the game. If that doesn't bother you, go buy it. Honestly, a lot of people are enjoying this game, and I'm going to exclude that from my decision and say, without that, it's a phenomenal game. I'm going to replay this when it's out of early access, 1000%. I want to finish the game. I want to see the amazing quests and the really fun story. And I want to play more. I really, really want to play more of this game. I just don't want to sit and waste 2 hours replaying the same quests. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope this helps. I'd love to know in the comments what you think of this game, if you've played it or not. I know it's a little bit controversial. Let me know what you think. Drop a like if you enjoy the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.